Hello, students of Spoken English class. In this video, you will be learning how to pronounce certain words beginning with the letters PSY. In words beginning with the letters PSY, the letter P remains silent. Let's look at some of these words beginning with PSY. The first one here we have is psyche. This word spelled PSY CHE is pronounced as psyche. Now what does this word mean? The word psyche refers to the mental state or structure of the person. It denotes the mind, the soul, or the spirit. It relates to the personality of the person, the mindset of the person. Now look at the next word, which is pronounced as psychic. PSYCHIC. This word is pronounced as psychic. The word psychic relates to a person having strange mental powers, sometimes the abilities of predicting the future or telepathic powers. So, a person who has certain strange mental powers is thought to be a psychic. Now let's move on to the next word, which is spelt PSYCHO and is pronounced as psycho. Psycho is a mentally unstable person, a crazy, a mad person who has behavioral disorders, who behaves abnormally. So he is not a normal person at all. Now we move on to the next word, spelt PSYCHOLOGY, which is pronounced as psychology. Psychology is the scientific study of the human mind and its function. Now look at the last word in this list. It is pronounced as psychiatry. Yes, the word spelled PSYCHIATRY is pronounced as psychiatry and not psychiatry as some of us in Indian English pronounce. The actual English or British pronunciation is psychiatry, and it refers to the study of mental illness and abnormal behavior in a person. It is a branch of medical science. Now we move on to the next group of words. Look at these four words pronounced as psychologist, psychiatrist, psychotherapy, and psychotherapist. As the name suggests, a psychologist is obviously a person who is specialized in the scientific study of the human mind and its functions, but he is not authorized to prescribe any medicines. Rather, he may recommend certain mental exercises to improve one's mental condition. A psychiatrist, on the other hand, is a medical doctor who specializes in the treatment of mental illness and prescribes medicines for his patients. The third word in this list, psychotherapy, is also related to the study of mental health. It's a branch of scientific study where one is trained to treat emotional problems of a person by counseling. And a person who practices psychotherapy is obviously known as a psychotherapist. So that makes us come to the last word in this list, psychotherapist. A psychotherapist is a person who is trained in treating mental disorders, and he offers counseling, suggestions, or advice to overcome emotional problems. So, the approach of a psychotherapist is somewhat different from that of a psychiatrist, because a psychiatrist is a medical doctor who prescribes medicines apart from counseling, but a psychotherapist provides counseling or advice rather than medicines. Now we'll proceed on to another group of words: psychosis, psychotic, psychopathy, psychedelic, psychosomatic. Everything to do with the mind or the disorder of the mind. For instance, psychosis, the first one. Psychosis pertains to severe mental disorder, and psychotic is a person suffering from psychosis. The word psychopathy too pertains to mental sickness. Then we move on to another word, psychedelic. Now, psychedelic literally means mind revealing. Psychedelic, mind revealing, but the word is commonly used to refer to certain kinds of drugs that produce hallucination. And the word psychosomatic implies a psychological condition which involves the occurrence of physical symptoms as well. There are two more words which I would like to discuss about, beginning with PSY. One is psychrometry, the other one is psychometry. Now, psychrometry is the scientific study of thermodynamics of the properties of air and water vapor mixture. So it is a totally different branch of study, nothing to do with the mind or the mental state of human beings. Psychrometry is the scientific study of thermodynamics of the properties of the mixture of air and water vapor, whereas psychometry is a form of extrasensory perception, ESP in short. It's a form of extrasensory perception which involves the divination of facts relating to an object or its owner through contact with that object. So that sounds a bit complicated. And that brings us to the end of this video, where I've discussed the way to pronounce certain words beginning with the letters PSY, in which the P remains silent. I've also given the meaning of those words.